Chay's an artist in the underground that has really made a name for himself. In 2020, 2021, where making music was damn near a trend, he was really one of the major names during this time period, also having multiple major big songs during this time period in the underground. And Chay's discography really does seem small, but there's a lot that people don't know about, so let's get into where Chay really started. On August 29th of 2006, in the countryside of Atlanta, Chay was born. Having had described the place as being extremely boring and really nothing to do over there, his only interest that he had was playing basketball. He had played for a few AAU teams, but in 2020, whenever the virus hit, everything for him had changed. When the virus had hit, he knew he wouldn't be playing basketball anytime soon, but one day he was scrolling on TikTok and saw this app that was growing in popularity called BandLab. Before this, he literally had zero intention on making music, but I guess he literally had nothing better to do, so he gave it a try. And in late 2020, he would record his first song under the name of Murkio. And after posting the song on SoundCloud and YouTube, as expected, the song flopped, with it being his first song that is expected. And soon, he would change his name from Murkio to Chay Romani, with the Romani in his name coming from Lil Tecca, which was Lil Tecca's nickname at the time. And a few months after dropping his first song, he would work on perfecting his sound. He would switch from BandLab to FL Studios, which FL Studios is what everybody was using at the time. He would then also create a preset. And after doing these two things, he was now just developing his sound. And in August of 2021, he would drop a song on his SoundCloud with his friend Specific. The song was on a plugin BB, and it was a very melodic song. And this sounded way more put together than the first song that he dropped. And around this time, Yeat would drop his album called 4L. And there was one specific song that stood out to Chay that was called Off the Lot. He saw something special in the instrumentals, so he took it to FL Studios and recorded a remix. After this, he would take it to TikTok, play it through his speakers, and after that, the song just went viral. This was really one of those sounds that you just could not escape in 2021. But Chay also had issues with the producer that made the beat for the song that had a problem with him rapping on it. With the remix having went so viral, the producer was mad that he didn't get paid for any of the plays. Chay went ahead and took the song down, but it didn't really matter because he was still blowing up after this. And after blowing up from this, Chay would go on to start a group with his cousin Teo and start a group called I Swear for God. The group wasn't anything big at the time, but they would soon add more artists that were way bigger at the time that would help the group out. Everything was going good for Chay at the time, but the thing about it is that he literally only had one song up on his SoundCloud because he had to delete the remix. And around this time, there was already a lot of other people making music, so if Chay didn't drop anything soon, with his small discography and only having one song up, he could have just got pushed into the side and forgotten. So then Chay would drop the next song, which would be called Reside. On this song, you can really tell that his vocals have really improved. And Chay also noticed that literally nobody said anything negative about the song. And this song will also blow up just like Off the Lot remix. With him having to delete the Off the Lot remix, Reside would be the only official song with some popularity to it. This will be a problem because there was already a lot of other people that were blowing up off of one song. So as expected, he dropped another single. The song will be called 100, and the song will also be produced by a really big producer named Nick Mira. And if you're not familiar with Nick Mira, he produced for artists like Juice WRLD. And this song will be way bigger than Reside. And right after this, he would drop a single that would really be important to his career that would be called Agenda. This would really be the song that would really solidify his sound. Chay understood that he had to get out of the box and try different things to find his sound. He also met a couple of people like producers like Nick Mira or Nate Exia, and also he described that he matured with his music. With him still being young, he found more stuff to say. Also prior from this, he recorded a bunch of songs and was recording at least 3 songs a day. And when he finally made Agenda, he knew that the song was gonna blow up because nothing sounded like it. Once again, he used TikTok's algorithm. He would put the song on TikTok, waited a week before he would drop it so he could see if people actually liked it. And just like Chay expected, people would eat the song up and he would drop it literally a week after he previewed it. And after dropping this, he really got put on the map and started getting put in conversations. With this being the song that really put him on the map, a lot of people at his school or just in his town would have noticed him. And when Chay was still in public school, his mom literally knew nothing about him making music. Like, she had a zero clue. A kid getting off a school bus had told Chay's mom that he had a popular song. With her having zero clue of any of this, of course she's going to be surprised, especially from the fact that Chay grew up a really quiet kid and was really cooped up in his room. But that whole time, he was really just making making hits. And later on, after he dropped Agenda, he still wasn't done. Chay and some members from Sona were sitting in a Discord call trying to find beats that were going to make them go viral. So Chay had an idea to start opening emails because he had a good feeling that there was some good beats sent to him in there. And literally the first beat that he opened really caught his attention. Chay in specific would keep listening to the beat over and over again, and finally they made the song on it. And personally, I was listening to Chay around when this dropped, and I'm not gonna lie, I actually hated this song. And it was specifically the beat that I did not like, but the song would grow on me and I would understand why the song was so popular, how unique the beat was, and just how they were going back and forth on verses, which is perfect. And after this, he would get a really big opportunity by opening for Lucky. And after this, he had the issue of having really predictable music and having to make something new. And in May of 2022, he would drop his first project, which was an EP called 3. This was way different than anything that we had heard from Chay up until this time. With him completely dropping the melodic music and switching over to a way more aggressive delivery, he really proved himself as an artist. This EP wouldn't do as good as all of his other singles, and I feel this is really because he wasn't doing his TikTok algorithm type thing with this EP. And today, every song off the EP is deleted besides the most popular one, which is called Hugo. He would take what he learned from his earliest songs all the way up until when he dropped his EP 3, and he would take advantage of it. A month after dropping his 3 EP, he would drop a single called WTF. The beat on this song would be really aggressive, and he would also be rapping aggressive, but he would also switch up with melodic singing. Everyone would love this, and this would be a song that would be popular on TikTok, and not many people said anything too bad about this. And now everybody would just be waiting for Chay to drop his project. But a few months after Chay was working on the project, right before he was about to drop it, the entire thing got leaked. Before this, Chay didn't actually have to deal with a lot of leakers, but at that time, Chay didn't have that much music out on the internet, and his fan base was growing, so people were desperate for music. And Chay actually wasn't too mad about the tape leaking because he saw that his fans were going as far as leaking the tape in order to get new music. The name of the tape is called Closed Captions, and you could probably find it somewhere on like SoundCloud. But with this tape, it really did sound like Chay was done with his melodic music and really sticking to his aggressive sound. And he never ended up on dropping the tape after it leaked, but he did drop one of the singles off of it. And shoot, in my opinion, this is one of his best songs that had dropped up until this time, and it's still one of his best songs. And after Chay got leaked, he would start to work on another project, which would be Closed Captions 2. And after months of waiting, Chay would drop on his second SoundCloud a song called Ikato, I think it's called. And after forever, I'm not being on social media, Chay would come back to use the TikTok algorithm and post a snippet. And as you probably could have guessed, Chay would let the song marinate, and he would make this official drop on all platforms. After months and months of Chay previewing snippets for the album and saying he's getting ready to drop it, on July 21st of 2023, he finally dropped his album CC. And me personally, I still do, but whenever this album first dropped, I actually loved this album. But of course, there was mixed reviews with a lot of people saying that every song was trash, and especially everybody saying that the mixing and the beats were just too much for them. Pretty much every song off this album was produced by a producer named Nate Exio, and a lot of his beats are like this, and I totally understand it because I was the same way whenever I first heard Black China. But I feel like this album's really good. There's really nothing else that sounds like it. And by the way, I do see a lot of people say that old Chay is better than this like CC Chay, and I do not agree with that one bit. And after this, Chay will already go ahead and start to work on his next album and start with previewing snippets. And there's one snippet in specific that's really special, and it's called Say So. This song would catch on to the TikTok algorithm, and Chay didn't even have to post a snippet on TikTok himself. With him having such a big fan base, people would just go ahead and put the song on there, and he will also go ahead to preview a lot of other snippets. I can't actually find this IG live, but I remember being in a live where Chay was saying he was getting ready to drop, and I remember him saying stuff like, "It's not what y'all think it is." And on October 11th of 2023, he would drop an EP called Before Kruger. And you know, this would really just be a lead up to his next actual project, Kruger. And then on Halloween, October 31st, he would drop his album, Kruger. A lot of people had a lot of stuff to say about this album, like saying he was biting Chief Keef's flow. And obviously that was not Chay's whole goal with this. Of course, he was just taking inspiration. And a lot of people were saying the same thing like they said on Closed Captions, saying that the production was just too much for them, or just saying the production was all over the place. And pretty much all 9 songs off of this tape were all produced by Nate Exio. And since Chay has dropped Kruger, he's dropped like 2 songs, one with some 6s and one was just another single. And I also forgot to say that he dropped a song on his second SoundCloud called Fajitas that were also produced by Nate Exio. And it really does seem like Chay and Nate Exio, like, it really does seem like Chay is really just sticking to all of Nate XEO's beats. And shoot, me personally, I don't have a problem with it because I really like all of Nate's beats. Chay will also have another song called Babe that would catch on to the TikTok algorithm. And the main reason for this would be because of the hook or just like how catchy the song was. And he also dropped another single called Miley Cyrus. And recently his fan page posted on Twitter that he was dropping an album called Who Invited Them. I don't know if this is a lie or not. I hope that it's not, and I hope that this shit drops before summer. Tell me who y'all want to see next. I don't really know who I'm going to be doing next. Probably Xavier So Bass. 50% chance. I don't really know. Make sure to follow my socials, especially my Instagram, because I'm trying to get more active on there, and I'm out.
You don't give a fuck.
I'm good.